everyone, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs, and today we are doing our energy clearing masterclass. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to share this information with you because I know that when we start to get into some of this information, it's just going to change your whole perspective on energy clearing, negative energy, and moving forward. So we've got some really interesting stuff to cover today. So we're going to be covering how to do space clearing, how to energy cleanse your home, free yourself of negative energy, that toxic energy that congests the home, holds you back, and also how to actively radiate positive energy and to make your home do that as well, because you can do that, and that is the missing part that most space clearings don't cover. So we're going to make sure we get into that entirely right now. Now, this is particularly relevant right now because we're going through a global purge. I'm sure you may have noticed we're going through a global purge where we are shifting our vibration. We're raising into a much higher vibration. It's a super exciting time, and we stand to really move forward and accelerate our awakening progress if we know how to clear effectively. If we know how to use it properly, we can make really big steps. It's pulling all this negativity out of us. It's drawing all the toxic, negative poison out of us all the time, and congesting the home space. That's where it ends up landing. It sits in the home space. It permeates all the objects and the things in your home and the land of your home, and it keeps you stuck in negativity. It stops you from moving forward on your awakening pathway. So we're going to cover all of that, okay? So in this video, this is what we're going to cover. I'll give you a little rundown, and then I would love to say hello. So please say hi and let me know who you are and where you're from. I'd love to hear from you. So in this video, we're going to be covering what space clearing actually is. What does it really mean, and why it's an essential part of your spiritual awakening survival kit. And I really mean that. It is an essential part of it. I wouldn't have made it through without space clearing. I practically couldn't function without space clearing, but I didn't realise that until I began to learn all about it. We're going to cover the energetic benefits of clearing your home, and this applies to your home, your living space, or your workspace, whatever it is you'd like to clear. It's entirely up to you. How space clearing is going to actively raise your vibration, so actually bringing the resonance of your soul up a level, which is an incredible step forward. We're going to be doing that. 6 signs that you're living in negative energy and low vibrations. You definitely want to know what those are. Space clearing mistakes that are keeping you stuck in toxic negativity and all that negative energy. And 2 simple steps and a very little known secret that is the key to freeing yourself from that negative energy and all that congestion long term. So we're going to be covering all of that. So I would love to say a few hellos to everyone. Hold on, I'm just making sure that we don't have any interruptions. So I can see, there's lots of people joining us today. Fantastic. So we've got Emily, Marta, Jackson, we've got Mary from Australia. Fantastic. She says, I'm excited. My ears have been ringing to the point of being more so on the right side, sorry. Yep, you're definitely very excited and maybe picking up some stuff as well. We've got Anne from Greenland. Hello. Bonnie from Washington. Julita from Rochester. Zoe from Edinburgh, awesome, another Scot, hi there, and Gavin from Ireland as well. Fantastic, guys. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. I love doing this work. As you can tell, I get really excited about these masterclasses because I love sharing all this kind of information with you. So thank you for being there, and thanks for watching. But we're going to get into some serious stuff today, and I really mean it. You might want to get a pen and paper. You might want to take some notes on your phone, because the stuff that we're covering you won't find anywhere else. It's totally different information from what you would usually get on space clearing. We've got a different approach, and it really makes a big difference. Okay, so let's get into it. And I'll say hellos as well, because I can see lots of people are joining us. There's tons of us today, which is awesome. Lisa from Gateshead, John from North Wales, Keely from Leicester, I'm not sure if that's how you say that, but hi anyway, Carolyn from Australia, and Bonnie from Canada. Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the love too. So let's get started, okay? This is going to change everything. It's really going to change the way that you feel in your awakening. But let's get started with the basics, okay? Because sometimes these terms can be so overused, they can be a little bit confusing. It can be a little bit confusing. Space clearing, if we just put it down to its bare bones, is the practice of cleansing negative energies from your living space. That's it in a nutshell. It's cleansing negative energy, cleansing dense vibrations, lower vibrations from your home and living space, and from the space that you spend most of your time in, okay? By clearing those lower vibes, by doing that on a regular basis, your home feels fresher, it feels lighter, it feels more peaceful, it can feel brighter, happier. It's just a nicer place to be, and you pick up on that vibration when you enter a space like that. We've all been affected that way, and it actively raises your soul's vibration. So that's why it's so important for your spiritual awakening, and we'll get into more of that as we move forward, okay? Because we're going through a really big time right now. So I can see Mary's asking, is it okay to have animals in the room with me? Absolutely, no issue having animals in the room, and that includes any time that you're doing any space clearing or anything like that. It's perfectly safe. We've got Martin from Bedford, Tracy from Canada, lovely, Sharon from Wishaw, and Helena, I hope I'm saying that correctly, from Northern California. Awesome, guys. So get set for all this, because we've got a really big update that I want to let you know. You know, I'm keeping you updated on everything that my guides are sharing with me, everything that seems to be shifting energetically for us right now, because it is an unprecedented time. Awakening has never moved this fast. It has never moved this fast. So not only is it incredibly exciting, but we need to know what we're working with so that we can move forward. Well, the next thing that you need to know is that we are going through a global purge that we have never seen before. The purge is here. Okay, and you've probably picked up on it. I know a lot of people, when we've been doing videos, have said, yeah, I have been sensing that something's going on right now. I might not know exactly what, but I know that something is changing. Well, it's because the entire planet is raising up a level. The entire planet is being purged of negative, dense vibrations. So this is what's going to help us to really actually resonate higher energetically. Very important, very exciting. So we are moving up into a higher vibration, and I'm sure that you'll have picked up on that. On some level, you'll have picked up on that right now. Well, the thing is, it doesn't just purge the planet, it's purging us too. So it's literally purging the dense, negative vibrations and all the emotional upset from your soul, okay? It's pulling it out, a bit like a poultice, pulling out the poison out of something. This is what's happening to our souls right now. So that means that as we start to energetically raise higher, because our environment has raised higher, and this is a big part of space clearing, as we start to raise higher, all that stuff starts to really burn off of us. It starts to release in such a fast way. It's moving faster now than we've ever seen it move before. So this stuff is burning off of us all the time, releasing from us. And then what happens is, it starts to stagnate in the space around us. It starts to settle into the space that we're spending most of our time, which is probably our home right now. It might be your workspace, could be somewhere else, but it starts to settle into the space around us. It starts to kind of permeate the objects and the environment around us. And the problem with that is that it's holding us back in our awakening pathway. It leaves us kind of stewing in a toxic, energetic environment. And the problem with that is you can't raise any higher if you're in an environment of toxic negativity. You just can't do it, okay? What's going to happen is you're going to kind of start reabsorbing all that negative energy, and that means that any of the progress that you were going to make on awakening to move you forward, to catapult you forward through healing, through clearing, raising your vibration, is going to be thwarted. And you're not going to be able to move forward in the way that you would, because any time that you could just get that little bit further, you're going to settle back into that negative energy, because that's what you're sitting in all the time. And I learned this in a really big way, and I'm going to go into that and how it affected me. But the problem with this type of negative energy is that negative energy tries to maintain a hold. Okay, so I don't want to alarm anyone. There's no need to be frightened. It's just the type of energy that it is. It's sticky, it holds on to everything, and it doesn't want to let go. So it can be a bit more difficult to work with. Now the problem with that is that it kind of keeps us trapped in the negative emotional patterns that created it. So if you imagine that energy, there's all these negative emotions that are releasing out of us, all this, you know, all these emotional issues, all the trauma, all the upset, all the emotional blocks, everything starts to release off of us, releases off of our space, starts to settle into the space round about us, starts to settle into the furniture, settles into the floor, settles into the walls, settles into the space around you. And what that means then is you are stuck in the same vibration that you were trying to get rid of, because then you're living in it. It's not affecting you within now, it's on the outside, but it's just having the same effect. So you're no further forward whatsoever. And the thing is, a lot of space clearing won't work, right? So that's the thing that's changed now. I'm giving you guys the updates of how things are changing in Ascension and Awakening. It's changed now. Traditional methods just will not cut it. They won't be enough. So things like saging, incense, essential oils, crystals, all those types of things that we used to use to clear energy just are not going to be enough to clear it. And I'm going to explain a bit more about why that is, so that you've got a really good understanding and you know exactly what to do to keep your space nice and clear. Because you really ideally want your home to be your spiritual temple. We don't have caves anymore. Most of us are not meditating in caves. I have done. If you've seen one of our previous meditations, I actually have meditated in a cave, but it's not the done thing anymore. We're not like yogis, you know, hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago, where we're meditating in caves. Our home is our spiritual temple. So what you really want to do is to honour it, honour that space and honour yourself by making it into a real environment that supports your awakening progress, not negates it. That's the important thing here. So we're going to go into all of that. But what I would like to do first of all is kind of explain a little bit of my experience with space clearing, because I've got a little bit of a confession to make, and it's quite embarrassing, so you have to promise to keep it a secret. I did not used to do any space clearing at all. I mean, really, I was an energy healer, an intuitive energy healer, and I'd done all these different courses, and I didn't do any energy healing at all. And the thing is, I'd been to lots of different courses. I'd been taught the importance of clearing energy, particularly when you're working with people and doing healing and stuff. But if I'm really honest, I didn't really feel like there was anything wrong with the environment that I was living in. I couldn't really sense that there was any bad energy at all. So it was like, well, why bother? It doesn't feel full of bad vibes, so what's the big issue? And then I went and learned this new form of intuitive healing in a tiny little village, a rural village in Scotland. And when I went into my teacher's home, it was fantastic that she did the training in her home. When I went into this woman's home, I was just in a total state of awe, because the minute I walked in the door, it honestly felt as though I'd stepped into some sort of spiritual temple. When I stepped in the door, there was just this feeling of like, oh, it was like, you know, when you go to shops that are full of crystals and incense and all these lovely spiritual things, wind chimes in, you just have that lovely kind of comforted feeling, and it's really peaceful and still. It felt like that. And I walked in the doors and I was like, what is this? What is this energy? This is tangible. This isn't just like, oh, she's got a nice home. It was just a normal home, normal living room. There was nothing particular about the decor or anything that would have made it that way. It was an energy and it was a feeling, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And not only did it make it easier for me to focus on the energy work that we were doing, it made it easier for me to relax. I was more at ease. I just felt happier, brighter, more optimistic. I felt kind of unburdened when I was there, and I was just desperate to have more of that in my life. So what I noticed was that when I went in the door, she had all this incense burning. She always was burning lovely incense, and I kind of remarked on it. I said, gosh, that must be what creates this lovely feeling. And she said, well, have some. And this is my next terrible spiritual secret. I had never used incense before. I'd never used incense at all. I was believing I was a spiritual person. I was on the spiritual pathway, and it's just, incense was just something that I hadn't really gotten into. So I was really excited, and I rushed home and I burnt the incense and had the windows opened, and I remember I left it for a while, and when I walked back in, it was like, oh my god, I could feel as though it was as if the energy had gone up a level. It was an entirely different feeling when I walked in. I couldn't believe the difference. I was absolutely hooked. So much so that I went through the entire box of incense that she gave me in like a week. Like, just kept burning it every single day. I was like, this is so addictive. This feels so much better. And the weird thing about it was that it kind of knocked me out of a rut that I realised I'd been in. Every day, you know, I was working from home, so every single day I was getting into this rut of maybe starting to feel a bit anxious and a bit overwhelmed in the afternoon, and then it would grow to like irritability, or sometimes it was just boredom. It was this low level feeling of like, you know, nothing matters, what's the point? And I didn't realise that had any connection whatsoever to the energy that was in my home. So to me it was just this mind-blowing thing where it was like, I used incense and now I feel different emotionally. How can that possibly be? It was just mind-blowing for me. And my daily mood was so much better. The anxiety, that kind of restless, bothered feeling that I had every day, and I'd had it for years, totally lifted. It was easier for me to focus on my work. It was easier for me to do intuitive work and to connect up. I was like, okay, this is it. I'm on the incense bandwagon. I'm using this all the time. But there was a problem with that. And the problem was that it didn't last. So every time I would burn the incense, it would feel really good, and I would get that moment where I was like, and I could relax, or I could do some work, and just the environment felt spiritual, it felt comforting, and it was peaceful. But the problem was I would wake up the next morning and I'd be like, oh my God, it feels congested again. I could feel the difference in it. It's like a bad mood being over the top of you, but it's not enough to make you really, kind of lose it and feel really angry or upset. It's just enough that you just feel a bit kind of, I don't know, as if something's over the top of you. So I started doing this every single day, and I thought I need to up my game. So I got sage, and I got the lovely shell, and I got the feather, and I was really into it. I was like really enjoying doing all this stuff. But the same thing happened again. I had to cleanse every single day, and it got to the point where it became a bit like an addiction. I became a bit kind of, I guess, a little bit over the top with it. It had to be done every day, or things just didn't feel right, and that wasn't good. And I started to think there must be a better way. There must be a better way than using sage and incense and crystals and essential oils and all this stuff all the time. There's got to be an easier way. And then I remembered a really important part of my energy healing training that I'd completely forgotten, and it was reprogramming. The thing is, it's not enough for you just to clear the space, certainly not at this time where we are going through this incredible purge and everything's coming off of us, all the negativity's coming off of us all the time. It's not enough. So what tends to happen is you clear the space, and then the energy starts to fall back into the path of least resistance. So you have to think of that energy being so used to negativity. When you clear it, it's like, okay, it lifts, and then it kind of just falls back into negativity again. So you need to clear it again, and it lifts, and then it falls back into negativity again, because you've created an energetic blueprint for that space. That energetic space is it's kind of got a template now for all that negative energy, the emotions that created it, the bad moods. And even if it's not down to you, which we are releasing a lot of stuff right now, it could be people that lived in your home before. If your home is older, people lived in it before, or particularly here like Scotland, we've got homes sometimes that are 100 years old. They're old homes. They've got the energy of all that stuff. So you're living in it all the time. So what you really need to do is make sure that you clear the energy first, and then you reprogram it with a new energetic template, so that the home knows how to maintain the energies of peacefulness and calm and tranquility and harmony. Sometimes even these energies can cause conflict with the people who live in the home. Everybody starts nipping at each other, everybody's irritable, everybody's kind of getting into conflict, and it's not good, and it starts to create that energy. Well, you need to clear the energy. And then if you don't want to get stuck on that hamster wheel of continual cleansing, you're going to have to reprogram the energy too. Okay, so this is a technique you won't find anywhere else. This is it's just totally awesome, and I love it. And I'm going to share with you exactly how to do all of it. So don't worry, we're going to get into all of that. But it's about maintaining the positive vibration, cleansing out the negative, and then maintaining the positive vibration. If you do that, you won't need to cleanse every single day. And in fact, if you train those energies to be in place, your home is going to feel calm, peaceful, like a spiritual temple all the time, because the energies will just take hold. And then of course that keeps you in a higher vibration, which means you can step forward in your awakening, and you're not constantly being kind of compressed by all this negative energy all the time. So that's really what we want to be moving through. So we're going to get into a little bit more, but I can see we've got some others have joined us. We've got Tina from Madison. We've got Bonnie here. She says, I participated in Kelly's space cleaning energy cleanse today. She did just earlier. That was fantastic. She said it was really great, and I can feel the energy moving. I'm feeling uplifted. My mood is wonderful. That is so great. Kelly, I was wondering if I can use the same meditation for my second home, or if I'm traveling. You can use it anywhere you like. Anywhere you like. If you've got a home space, if you've got a workspace, if you go visiting, if you go to a hotel, you want to work on the room, you can just play the meditation and listen through it. It'll cleanse any space that you're in, and you don't need anything else. Okay, fantastic. And we've got Harini from India as well. Thank you for all the lovely likes and love, guys. I really appreciate it. Right, are we all following so far? We're going to get into all this new stuff. So let me see, make sure I don't miss anything else. Right. So space clearing can make a really big difference to the feeling of your home space, or like I said to Bonnie before, your living space, your workspace, the hotel, wherever it is you want to work on. space cleaning can make a really, really big difference, and we pick up on it because we're sensitive to energy. So the average person, it's not a big deal to space clear, but for us, it can really impact how we're feeling. And it not just impacts yourself, but it impacts the other people who live there, the other people who are residing in the home, or even people who visit the home as well. But of course, it's not going to make your awakening perfect, right? And I say this with pretty much everything because there are all these really key parts to your spiritual awakening survival kit. It's not going to make your awakening perfect, but it sure will make it a lot easier, because what you really want to make sure is that you have that sacred spiritual temple, that one special place that you can go where it's clear, it's balanced, it's aligned, it's peaceful enough for you to rest, for you to think clearly, for you to connect. That during spiritual awakening is extremely important. You really need to make sure you have just one space that you can go to where you can kind of take a little respite from the intensity of it. So let's get into some of the signs that your home might need energy cleansing. And just for an idea, almost all homes all the time need energy cleansing. It's the type of energy we're in just now. If it's never been done or it's not been done regularly, you're going to need it. And sometimes even if you've done it just a few days ago, the home's reverted back to those initial kind of negative blueprints, so you're going to have to do it again. Okay, so here are some of the signs that your home space needs clearing, that you're living in negative energy, that you're living in lower vibrations, because it's all one thing. And I would love to hear if you resonate with maybe one, two, or all of them. Okay, so here are some of the signs. You feel low, you feel moody, or you feel kind of bothered. You feel trapped, or you have a heightened awareness of others living nearby. And by that I mean, you know, that energy where you're aware of other people living. Maybe they live through the wall, maybe there's a home quite close to you, maybe it's just the awareness of the other people around, and it makes you feel kind of trapped, it makes you uncomfortable. You might be finding it difficult to shift your emotional state. You're experiencing frequent conflict and disharmony with others in your home. It might not even be down to you, it might be other people are starting to all kind of nip and have conflict. That can be a part of it. Your home space might feel unclean, untidy, or uncomfortable no matter what you do. So even though you've tidied up, even though you've cleaned everything, even though you've aired things out, it just still doesn't feel right. And the one last most important thing that is highlighting that your space needs cleared is that you just know. You just know. It's one of these things that as a light worker, sometimes you're not aware that that feeling of just feeling a little bit off, or just being like, something's kind of annoying me a little bit today, that is your indicator that it's time to clear. And sometimes it's just as simple as, we're talking about energy clearing, yeah, I know I need that. It's just an awareness. So please let me know if you recognise any of those. Let me know if you resonate with any of those, or if you feel that your home needs clearing. I would love to know about it. So I'll just say a few more hellos to people who have joined us. We've got Lizzie from Stroud. I can see Karen says the volume's low. I'm not sure why that is. I'll try and speak up a little bit. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. And Jackson says, moved here in a beautiful apartment on June 1st, but last week I had the same feeling from when I lived in my previous place, which was a dark, musty basement. Interesting, a feeling of thick fogginess, so strange. So you see, this is the thing, and we're going to get into this a little bit later. You take the energy with you because the energy comes from you. So this is why most space clearing won't work, because space clearing will just clear some of the air around about you. It won't really look at the emotional patterns that have created the energy in the first place. So you move to a different space, you're taking that energy with you, and it's going to keep burning off you and fill up the next space and the next space and the next space. So I'm glad that you've recognised that. That means that clearing can be done and you can get it all shifted, so don't worry. But I see Tina says, I find myself not wanting to be in my home. I feel like a caged animal. Big sign that you need some energy clearing. That's a tough energy to be in. Lisa says, definitely feel that all the air is thick. Excellent way to detect that. Zoe says, definitely resonate with all those things, especially feeling trapped, like I need to escape somewhere but there's no place to go. These are all key signs that your energy in your home is needing cleared. It's that feeling of not being able to find peace, not being able to settle, which you should be able to. This should be your spiritual temple, okay? So we've got lots more great stuff to cover. Do let me know if you're following everything, and if you have any questions whatsoever, you just let me know and we will cover them. Okay, so I suppose there is an aspect to this where you might be thinking, well, negative energy, like what's the big deal? Does it really matter? What's the big deal if, there's negative energy around, if it's coming off me, if it's in the home? The thing is, every single day, because of this global purge that we're going through, all the old negative emotions, all the trauma, all the stress, and anything else that's negative, that's dense, that's heavy, is being released from our energy system. So it's coming off, burning off of the energy system and being released into the space around us, okay? Now, for the average person, that's really not a big deal. For the average person, negative energy like that generally just creates a bit of a bad mood. Or sometimes people just don't even notice. It depends how attuned you are to energy. Everybody's a little bit different. So for most people, it just creates a little bit of a bad mood. But for those of us going through spiritual awakening, and we're actively trying to raise our vibration, to reach a bit higher, to embody our higher self, it holds us down. It really keeps us stuck on the awakening pathway, and it keeps us stuck in negative patterns and life experiences of disharmony, conflict, blocks, all these things that just make life a bit of a struggle. It keeps us stuck in them. It's just like karma, playing over and over and over again, and it stops us dead in our tracks from really moving forward in our spiritual awakening, because instead of moving forward in the way that we should be, we're kind of stewing in the soup of this negative energy that's already burnt off us. It's already supposed to be gone, but we're kind of choosing to still sit in it. Now, we might not realise that we need a clearing, but that's essentially what we're doing. So you can't feel any better or find a way out if your environment is absolutely toxic. If it's completely energetically toxic, you can't find a way out. But the problem with this is, like I've said before, is that negative energy is really sticky. It doesn't want to go. It has this bit of a consciousness about it where just when we begin to feel the relief and the lightness and the, that's kind of lifted off of me, is exactly when that energy is leaving our system. And it kind of grabs onto the space around you and all the objects, and it just does everything it can in a desperate attempt to remain in power. So it starts to hold on to everything, and it's just like a bad smell. You cannot get rid of it. It permeates the space, it permeates the objects, the furniture, even the people in your home, and it kind of sets up camp with this attitude of like, I'm not leaving and you can't make me. And that's really how it is. It's very difficult to get rid of. And then before you know it, that lovely lighter, brighter feeling that you had starts to fade, and then you start slipping in to all those old patterns. You start to relapse into the negative energies and experiences, the emotions, the behavioural patterns, all the same stuff that already created it, all the same conflict all over again, and you're just back at square one. So we start to feel moody, we might feel irritable, we might even feel depressed at a heavy level of it. We start to feel dissatisfied with life or with the other people in our home, or the fact that we need to take care of our home, and we start getting really moody and grumpy, and small things start to feel like overwhelming burdens. That's your key. When you start to feel like you're stuck in a rut, when you start to feel like nothing's moving forward and you start feeling a bit kind of resentful, even if it's just a low level dissatisfaction, this is when your energy needs cleared. So they need to become your little alarm bells, that when you pick up on those feelings, it's like, aha, the place needs cleared. I need to do the clearing, to do self-care, to look after my energy, and to support my awakening. Okay? So let me just check I haven't missed anything. So the thing is, I know I'm probably making this sound a little bit unnerving, and I don't mean to make it frightening, because it's not a frightening thing, but it's okay for it to sound a little bit unnerving, because it actually is, right? Dealing with negative energy is, and it's an inhospitable environment for light workers like you and me. We just can't tolerate it because we're a naturally higher resonant being. Our energies tend to resonate just that little bit higher. So anything lower, anything dense, anything negative is really uncomfortable for us, but we're not always aware of why. We're not always aware that that's what's going on. We just know we don't feel okay. So the good thing is that once you actually do some space clearing, quite often you have that kind of aha moment where it's like, yeah, God, yeah, it feels so much better. And it kind of confirms that unconscious suspicion that we had, that we needed to clear something in the first place. So we do actually pick up on it. We're just not always consciously that aware of it. And the thing is, when negativity is at play, even if it's just that, something's off, negativity's at play. Feel a bit irritable, I feel a bit moody for no reason. negativities at play. It's like start to look at what's playing out and see that you need the clearing. So the challenge with this is that traditional clearing just isn't going to cut it. For the level of clearing that we're doing right now, it's not enough, okay? It's just not enough. And a lot of people spend their time endlessly on that cleansing kind of hamster wheel where they're burning sage, they're burning incense, they're using candles, they're trying to clear their space, but it just ends up needing done all over again because it hasn't been replaced with anything good. If you don't replace it, if you don't change the energetic resonance of the space, it's just going to fall back into the path of least resistance. That's what always happens. That's why you can go to somewhere historic where something terrible has happened and you go there and it's like, oh God, you can feel it. You know, you say that to people, it's like, oh yeah, you can feel it here. Well, if it was hundreds of years ago, why can you still feel it now? The energy isn't going to shift. It's going to fall back into what it's used to resonating at all the time, okay? So if your home has been kind of negative, if there's been conflict in your home, if you've been going through awakening for a while, you can bet that there's a lot of negative energy in the space around you and it's probably just starting to fall back into that path of least resistance, okay? So what you need to do is you need to clear it and you need to replace it with something good and something different, and you need to train the energy of your home to maintain that long term. That's the secret to changing it long term, which no one else does. Everyone else just clears it and it's like, yeah, you'll need to meditate again. Yeah, you'll need to use incense or sage again. But that's not really helping us. What we need to do is to reprogram it so that positivity becomes the new normal. So that positivity is the energy that it falls back to. And that we can deal with. We can deal with a higher vibration, but not the negativity. And we want it to we want to teach our homes how to radiate that from within so that it is comforting for you, so that it's a spiritual safe place for you, but also so that it's comforting to any of the inhabitants, the people that come into it. I always find that, people come into my home space and they'll say, oh God, it's so relaxing in here. People remark on it all the time. But I don't very often use incense, sage or anything else like that. I don't tend to use it anymore because I know that I'll need to do it again a little while later. It's because I've cleansed the energy and then I've reprogrammed it. I've replaced it with something good so that anyone who enters the space is like, oh, it's really chill in here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm making an effort to create it that way for myself and for everyone else. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into what you can do about that. I know it probably sounds like a bit of a hassle, but it's really not. The good news is you don't need to train as an energy healer. You don't need to learn how to do singing bowls or using crystals or essential oils or incense, sage, anything like that to clear the energy from your home or your auric field. You can use our special 2-step method that I'm going to share in this video so that you don't get caught in that hamster wheel of constantly clearing, and I'm going to reveal it just shortly. So I'm going to get into a couple of space clearing mistakes that everyone makes that you don't want to make. We'll cover that just in a little minute. And again, I'm going to cover a couple of comments because we've had a few different things here. So let's see. Anastasia says, is there any detox effect when you clear the energy? Can it take a while for your body to release the energies? Now, I can't speak for other meditations or other practices. It may do with other practices, but what I can tell you for us is that there's no detox effect. Everything that gets worked on is instant, and generally with our meditations, with the energy healing, if it's clearing the energy, sometimes you might find even up to 2 hours after, there might be the odd little things still shifting or moving if the guides are still working with you. But once it's clear, it's clear. There's no after effect because we've released the grip. There's no grip there for the negative energy to hold on to, so there's no trouble in releasing it. It's just, okay, go, you're gone. Okay, that's kind of how it works, so you'll be absolutely fine. Marta says, trying to deal with the problem by going outside into the yard. Now, the interesting thing about that is it's great if you find you can get a respite when you go outside, but quite often that's the one thing space clearing misses. Space clearing doesn't often work on more than just the one room that you're in. With our space clearing that I'm going to talk about later, we're covering the home that you're in, the entire building, the walls, the windows, the roof, the land underneath and any history on the land, and even the garden. So even wherever your boundary is for your space, that's what we're clearing, and that's what makes it different, because most people just do space clearing for the room. And if you can imagine one little room against all the other rooms in a building and the land that it's sitting on all being negative, it's just going to collapse in on itself all over again. Let's see. Jackson says, the last little bit of unpacking in the new apartment seems like the biggest chore. There's a hint that some energy's at play. I just can't do it. It's maybe 5 minutes at a time, then tired. Thought it was depression, as this is a pattern with me. Could be a little bit of depression, but I think most likely it's that energy's come with you and you're struggling to shift through it. So clearing's definitely a big part of moving forward. And Keely says, do you have to do it in each room? No, you don't. That's the great thing. Like I said, I'll go into our energy clearing method at the end because I can't speak for other energy clearing techniques, but for us, we're doing it, like I said, for the entire building. So it's not just one room. You can use it in one room, but it will work for the entire building and the land and the garden. So the entire boundary of your home. So, and we'll also put a boundary in place. We're putting a protective shield in place so you don't get affected by everyone else's energies, the neighbours and the people nearby, which is a big deal as well. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into the mistakes. So if we're going to move out of all the lower vibrations and into all these awesome new vibrations that are really exciting and this higher resonance moving forward on the ascension pathway, we need to watch out for some pitfalls, because there are some mistakes that you can make. And fortunately for you, like I always say, I made them all first, so I'll be able to share them with you so that you can sidestep them and you don't need to make the same mistakes I made. So let's take a look. So mistake number 1 would be no energy clearing ever. Now, you know I said at the beginning of this, I made that mistake. Hand up, I did make that mistake. Believe it or not, it's more common than you'd think, even for people going through the awakening process. A lot of us, including myself at one time, just don't do any form of energy clearing or energy cleansing whatsoever. And the problem with that is that it gives us this false sense of security, because it gives us a kind of level of what we're willing to tolerate, what we think is normal as an environment, as an energetic environment. And it kind of sets us up to accept a lot of toxicity, a lot of excess negativity, and all the problems that come with it as standard in life. It kind of makes us get used to it, if that makes sense. And that energy congestion starts to affect your mood. It starts to affect your ability to do things, your what's the right word for it? What you're able to do in a day, what you're able to achieve, your motivation. It starts to affect all of that. And at the speed that we're currently being purged, space clearing really has to become a standard part of your spiritual awakening survival kit. Really, really important. So don't make the mistake of just not doing it ever, because you're really setting yourself up to live in a negative vibration really all the time, no matter where you go, and you'll never escape it. You'll just think that it's normal and it'll feel normal, but when you do that energy clearing one time, that's when you know, it's like the ceiling on what you think is normal just completely changes. It's like, oh my gosh, I was totally living in negativity, this feels so much better. And then you start to get the benefits of it, but you don't know what you don't know if you've always lived in negativity. Okay, so that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is using traditional methods of energy clearing and space clearing. But I have to get one thing straight. I love incense, essential oils, crystals. I love using sage with a feather and my lovely little shell bowl. You know, all these things. I love those things. I love my Tibetan singing bowl. But when it comes to space clearing, particularly at a time like this, it's just not enough. It's just not enough to cut through the density at the rate that we are offloading all this heavy energy and all the heavy energy that's around us in the world. You can see that happening too. So it's just not enough. And the problem is that although that will clear your space, maybe one day it'll clear it enough, it might even clear it for a couple of days, what's going to happen is it's always going to revert back to the path of least resistance. It's always going to revert back to the negativity, and that's because, you know, you haven't addressed the emotions that put that energetic pattern in place. If you can address the emotions with what we're going to talk about later, then you can shift it for good. That's the important thing. Okay, if you don't address those emotional patterns, you know, you're just going to wind up having to space clear all the time to feel better, and you know, any type of clear feeling that you actually get is going to feel really short-lived, and that's not much fun. And mistake number 3, this is our third and final mistake, so don't make this, is not reprogramming the energy of the space. I don't know why, but no space clearing method seems to incorporate this, and I find it really odd, because if you're only going to clear, if you have an understanding of how energy works and you just clear it and you think that's it done, it's like you're fighting a losing battle. You're fighting the laws of this current plane. it will follow the path of least resistance. So what you really want to do is you need to understand that it's the missing piece to really having longer lasting energy clearing, to making your home feel that it's got good feeling within it, that it's tranquil, that it's peaceful, that it's restful, that it's spiritual. You can actually make it feel like it's spiritual, it has that feeling to it. And the thing is, we need to take the negative energy away and then reprogram it with something more positive. It's the reprogramming that's the key that no one seems to do. And I'm always scratching my head like, I don't understand why. You need to reprogram it. It's a bit like having to teach your home what positivity feels like. If you've never really had a lot of that energy in your home, or if it's been more negative than otherwise, than positive, then of course it's going to fall back into the same old energy that it's used to. You need to teach it how. You need to teach the home how to feel that vibration, how to emanate and radiate that energy, and then also how to maintain it so that it's there long term. That's the difference. And if you do that, not only is it going to stay there for longer, this lovely energy, but it's going to resonate those energies, the feelings of calm, peace, tranquility, relaxation. And it means that when you are in your home, you're going to feel good, and when other people come to your home, they're going to feel it as well. It's really incredible to me. People do it all the time. They come in the door and it's like, oh gosh, it's really chill in here, and they want to spend more time because they can get that relaxation that they can't get at home. So it's a big deal. So we're going to get into our special 2-step method in just a second. I'm excited to share this with you, and I'm going to answer some more questions as well, but I'll take more questions at the end because we've got lots more that we can go into as well. Okay, so Gavin says, hi Kelly, I live at home with some people who, God bless them, are completely disorganised and the place is always untidy. That can create some negative energy as well. There's some hoarding going on. No matter what positive changes I try to make, they always seem to come undone again eventually. It feels like a losing battle. That can be quite a challenge if you are amongst others who are kind of in that energy. But what you can still do is use energy clearing to cleanse the energy, because sometimes untidiness and clutter and hoarding does have a bit of a dense vibration, and it does tend to get kind of cloudy in a room. But if you're using energy clearing to cleanse that energy, then all that's really left is the stuff. So if you can deal with the stuff, which I know is tough, you know, things lying around and stuff, it's not going to feel as bad if you've cleansed that energy. So I think you'll probably feel a difference in that sense. Marta says, I got a spiritual animal message a while ago to clear up the mess, and all I could think of was a need to declutter. So you've been getting this message for a while. It's time. I've never felt such a push for energy clearing ever. So it's a really important time for us to be doing that. Okay guys, so let's get into our special 2-step method that will do space clearing that actually lasts. So different from anything you've ever used before, the space clearing that you do is actually going to last. It's going to make a difference, okay? You want to make your home into your spiritual temple, and you want to maintain a positive vibration for you and for anyone else who comes into your home or comes to visit, or anyone else who lives there. And you do that in 2 easy steps, okay? So step 1, you're going to clear the current stagnant energy from the room. You're going to clear all that negativity out. That's the most important thing, and that has to happen first. So that's always got to be step 1. Cleanse the current stagnant energy from the room, okay? And then step 2 is you're going to reprogram the energy, the energetic patterning of that space by teaching it to hold on to the vibrations of positivity. And you can add other things in: positivity, peace, harmony, tranquility, maybe even focus if you want to be able to do your work. You're going to have to, step 1, cleanse it. Step 2, reprogram it. Absolutely vital. If you don't reprogram it, you're going to be cleansing forevermore, all the time, and just having to do it just as standard to keep things clear. And by the way, I still love all those things I said before. I love incense, I love sage, I love all those things, but I tend to burn them now just occasionally because I like the smell. I like the kind of atmosphere it creates, not because it'll space clear in an effective way that is going to last long term. So it's just about shifting the way you use things a little bit. Use it more for enjoyment rather than space clearing. Okay, so like I said before, we need to clear the cause by shifting the negative emotions that created the vibration in the home space in the first place. And the best way I've found to do that is with energy healing. Always with energy healing. It's the only method that can clear the energy and replace it with something good over the top. So traditional methods can't do that. They'll just clear it and it'll collapse, and then you'll have to do it again. So if you do it with energy healing, what you're doing is you're actually kind of setting an energetic aura in your home that maintains a positive vibration no matter what's going on. So it's not about, I've energy cleansed today with sage or incense or crystals or whatever it is, and then the next day it needs done again. It's, I have changed, I'm actively changing the energetic patterning of my home, which is supporting me in my awakening and allowing me to reside at higher vibration, and furthermore to continue raising my vibration. It's not holding me back, it's not congesting my energies, it's not, it's not like being a goldfish in a dirty goldfish bowl. You can't see out, you just keep going around in circles. It's not like that. You can move forward when the space is clear, okay? And you should start energy cleansing your home space, your workspace, your living space, whatever it is that you are, ASAP. It really needs to be done right now, because we are shedding these negative energies at an incredible rate. They are literally burning off of us faster than we've ever seen before, ever. Which means we've got a lot of emotions coming up. You might notice you've been feeling moody, you've had emotions coming up, maybe even physical stuff, aches and pains. It's all just negative energy leaving the system. You've probably had intense dreams. It's all kicking off right now because of this global purge. So our living spaces are already congested. Right now they're already congested with that negative energy and we're spending even more time at home than before. So if you can imagine, we're literally sitting in that energy. We are stewing in a toxic negative environment all the time, and we're completely unaware of it. All we know is our mood's a bit off. All we know is we feel a little bit fed up. All we know is the other members of the house are starting to bicker and argue. It's all negative energy. So don't let those negative energies take hold. Don't allow them to affect you or govern your mood any longer, because they can. Negative energies can start to impact the way you think, the thought forms that you have, the way you perceive the world. Everything starts to, it's almost like a little negative voice in your ear kind of starting to make you see things really negatively. It's not a good energy. Don't allow it to do that. Out of the low vibrations and onto the positive vibrations, where you're raising the vibration of your soul. You're actively moving up on the spiritual awakening pathway, and you're not allowing the energies of your environment to hold you back, because why should they? Why should the environment around you hold you back? You should be able to just keep progressing without getting stuck in the same old, negative rubbish that we're all used to sitting in. Let's move forward. We're shifting vibration on the planet. Let's shift vibration in our own homes as well, which is a really big deal. And the cool thing is there are a lot of really wonderful benefits to clearing and then reprogramming your home space. It's a totally different thing. So this is some of the benefits we're going to run through. You've got no need for incense, sage, essential oils, crystals, or any other energy clearing method. Okay, so the great thing is, if you can't get out and about right now, you don't need anything else. Right, we're just doing it all with energy. You don't actually need physical stuff. You don't need to do a ceremony. You don't need to waste time on any of that. You don't need anything. There's no need to continually re-cleanse and re-clear daily, so you can take a bit of a break. The energy is actively replaced with positive vibrations long term, so that means that your home is going to feel like a nicer place to be for a lot longer. And actually, if you train it a few times, you might find that it just sticks, and then it just always feels lovely for yourself and for anyone else who comes into the home. It creates a calming effect for all who reside in the home and all who enter the home as well. It's like people walk in and they actually, when that energy really takes hold, it's like, you'll see people take a deep breath when they walk in. It actively affects their energy. And the space feels more homely. It's more conducive to rest. It's more conducive to relaxation. And it's more calm, it's peaceful, it's harmonious. And it's really a good space for you to do all the things you want to do, whether it's work, whether it's rest, whether it's spiritually connecting, whatever it is. And of course, there's less emotional disruption when you do it this way. So you're moving out of irritability, moodiness, lethargy, and anxiety. And of course, it saves you from getting stuck in the same old negative patterns that cycle round and round, those emotional patterns and all that dysfunction. And that puts the brakes on your awakening pathway. So really, the benefits of clearing and then reprogramming your space are just incomparable to something that just lasts for one day. It really makes such a big difference. Okay, So it makes such a tangible difference. It's just incredible. So I'm going to recap some of the stuff that we've learned today. And if you have any questions, please let me know and I will get to them at the end. We'll cover all these. But to do a little recap of what we've learned, space clearing is the practice of cleansing toxic negative energy from your living space. We're currently going through a global purge, which is drawing negative energy out of us at an incredible rate. It's the fastest that we've ever been shedding this stuff ever before. It's moving all the time. As a result of the purge, that negative energy that's being released is congesting our homes. It is literally burning off of us, settling into the space around us and causing bad moods, getting us stuck in a rut, keeping us in the same negative emotions and life patterns that we're actually trying to escape from. And of course, it's stopping us from raising our soul's vibration, from actually actively moving up in the awakening pathway. And then we also learned the 3 big space clearing mistakes. Number 1, no energy clearing ever. Don't make that mistake. Number 2, using traditional methods of energy and space clearing, which of course don't last. And number 3, not reprogramming the energy of the space, which is the absolute key to changing how you feel on a daily basis, because your home should be your spiritual temple. You need a spiritual temple if you're going to be moving through awakening. We also covered 2 simple steps to shift your home's energetic resonance for good, so clearing that negative energy out. Step 1 was cleanse the negative energy from the room, and step 2 was to reprogram the energetic resonance of the space by teaching it to hold on to the energy of positivity, harmony, compatibility, peacefulness, all these lovely energies, even safety, lovely energies in the home. And I want you to know this isn't special to me, and it isn't just theory. I've been doing this for years. I've been doing it for years this way. And like I said before, people always enter my home. Everyone always says, "Oh, like Kelly's space is so chill." And they think it's just a nice feeling, but it's more than that. They're picking up on the energy of what I've actually actively reprogrammed my home with. It's like maybe you've ever been to somewhere where it's like an energy healing course, or maybe you've been to a place where they sell a lot of crystals, or you've walked into somewhere and you can feel the difference in it. It's actively changing the way that you feel when you walk in. There's just this like, it's nice. It has an active effect on you. So like I said, the energy is tangible. You can actually change it. So the good news is you don't need to go to energy healers. You don't need to go and train. You don't need incense, sage, crystals, essential oils, or anything else in order to do this, because I've created a resource that's going to clear the energy for you and reprogram your home space with positive energy in under 20 minutes. Okay, so it doesn't take long for this energy healing to clear the entire space. And the awesome thing about it is that we have made it so that it not just clears the one room that you're in when you do the meditation, it clears the room that you're in, it clears all the rest of the rooms in the building, the entire building, the walls, the roof where all this energy tends to gather, particularly if there's a peak, the energy of the land underneath your home, and even the energy of your garden. So any space that you've got out around the boundary of your home, we are clearing all of that. Okay, so it's a completely different energy clearing in that we're not just clearing one room and we're not just making it last one day. We're clearing the energy of the entire plot of land that you're on, and we're reprogramming it with the positive energy so that it feels that lovely comforting feeling inside, and so that it's really conducive to your spiritual awakening. And also I want you to know that while we're shifting all this energy and we're doing that in the energy clearing, you can use it anywhere. So like I said before, if you are using it in your home, use it in your home. You can use it in your workspace. You can use it if you go travelling, if you go anywhere else, if you go to stay somewhere on holiday, if you go to a hotel, you can shift all of that. So it's absolutely, it's like a kind of, it's just one of these things you can take anywhere basically, and you can play it a couple of times. One time might be enough to reprogram your home, but if you play it a couple of times, a few days in a row, what you'll find is those energies start to hold and it lasts longer and it just feels so much better. So it's a really big deal. And if you're ready to get started right now, you can check out the Home Space Energy Cleanse. This is our brand new energy healing meditation that will do all of this for you. It's part of our Global Purge Survival Kit, which we need right now. Everything you need to energy cleanse your home space, free yourself of negativity, and reprogram your home to radiate positive energy automatically. It's really awesome and really fun. And it's a one-of-a-kind system. I'm certain you won't find anything like this anywhere else. You won't find any other space clearing that can clear as much in a short space of time, and as effectively to change all that patterning. People don't reprogram, so it's kind of a big deal. So I'm going to go through a few more things and then I'll answer some questions. So the course is going to cleanse your entire home of negative and dense energy. It's going to clear bad vibes or low feeling in your home. It's going to shift bad moods and negativity caused by energetic congestion. It's going to create energetic boundaries to maintain the clearing without being affected by surrounding homes, places or people. So you know when you start to feel hemmed in, or you feel really aware of the energy of other people, maybe living through the wall or in a next house over or further up the street. It's going to create a boundary and a shield from that. It's going to replace the energies with peace, harmony and lightness by reprogramming the energy of your home to radiate positivity automatically to you and all who enter. And it's going to assist you in raising your spiritual awakening vibration and shift and moving forward. So really, really important. Really, really important. And you can check it out at the link in the description. It's really exciting. I'm really, really excited to launch this. And of course, there's two parts to it. There's an initial part and then there's an aftercare checkup, which we'll do, which is an extra 20 minutes. So you're getting lots of energy clearing for this. So I'll take some questions now, guys. So anything you want to ask, please do, and we'll get into some questions, then we'll finish up for today. So I can see Corey has said, how do you cleanse it? Is it with sage? No, we recommend cleansing with energy healing. Reason being is that you don't need any other product to do it. You just do it with the energy clearing. You don't need incense, you don't need oils, you don't need sage. There's nothing you need to do. You just do the meditation, use the energy healing to clear it. And that means that you're clearing the negative energy and then you're reprogramming it. The most important part, you reprogram it with something positive so that it lasts long term, so that it feels good when you're in it, and also so that it supports you in your awakening. It's not letting all that negative energy get you stuck. It's clearing it out, moving you forward. And Bonnie said, how do you cleanse the space and how do you reprogram? Like I said again, energy healing. That is the key to doing all of this. Erica says, what are the steps? How do you actually cleanse and reprogram? My video cut out and I might have missed it. Will you be able to replay the video, Erica? This will be up for a while. But the steps are cleanse the space and then reprogram. It's as simple as that. And this meditation I'm discussing right now that we've just launched, the home space energy clearing, can do it all for you. And you can just relax and allow it to cleanse. But the cool thing is, it doesn't just cleanse the space, it'll clear you too. So when I did this, the guides took a clearing that kind of pulled all this energy off us. It was like cobwebs, all the effect of the negative energy, pulled it off of our energetic space, and also cut the cords for anything that was affecting the way that we're thinking. Because this negative energy can start to kind of affect the way that we're thinking, the thoughts that we have, and our perception of things. So it cleared a lot of that as well. I can see Jackson says, repressed childhood trauma is coming up, but feels halted lately no matter how hard I try to help my mind go there. Will this space cleaning help with making room for these memories to come up? It's possible. It's hard to say because it could be due to a few different things. It could be that your soul just is starting to bring it up, but it's not quite ready to go there. It could be that your systems just can't handle it yet, so it's just giving you a bit more time. Or it could be that you're just getting stuck and there's not enough energy kind of moving for things to really move a bit more easily and rise to the surface. So it may help with that. And let's see, Marta says, could it be done telepathically, let's say family living far away? It's better if you're in the space that you're actually clearing, but you can certainly send a clearing. So all you need to do is you would play the meditation, and while you're doing that, you would just hold your focus of the home or the space that you want to clear instead. And you can just hold the intention. You can even say in your head to the guides, just say, I'm doing this for this home, for my friend's home, or for this space, or whatever it is, and they'll do that on your behalf. Absolutely, you can do that, no problem. Let's see, Erica says, I'm really confused. I thought this video was supposed to teach us how to cleanse our space. Is it just an advertising for a meditation? Our meditations launch every month, so we always do a free masterclass. So this is what it is. We're teaching you the how, we're teaching you all the stuff you need to know about space clearing and everything to do with it. And then we offer our alternative. Now, like I said before, you can absolutely use other methods. If you want to use sage or incense, crystals, essential oils, you can use them. They will still work. They just won't last. So the key here is not that it's not that space clearing will never work again. It's that the time that we're in and this purge that we're going through, where everything's shifting so quickly, it's coming off of us so intensely that the old methods just aren't working. So we need to look at another way of doing this. So that's what it's all about. Now I'll give a little moment in case anybody else has any questions, but otherwise the link to the meditation is in the description. You can take a little look and see if it's a fit for you, and just start to tune into your space, start to look at what's going on, start to look at the energetic patterns, the emotional patterns that you're in all the time, and start to look for where that space clearing might be needed. Because it really is a big deal just now. We've never needed space clearing as much as we do just now. It's shifting, the energy is just completely shifting, and it's moving very fast. Let's see, so Gavin says, I've often turned to the entity clearing meditation when I feel stuck and like stuff needs to be cleared, and it makes a big difference sometimes, but other times I can't really tell. The space clearing would be more focused on the environment. Yeah, so the entity clearing is more really if there are things really affecting you personally, so the energy that is attached to you. So sometimes that will clear things, but yeah, this is more about the environment that you're in. So whether it's your actual home, or whether you're staying somewhere, or whether it's your workspace, it's about the environment, the energetic environment that you're in, and moving the toxicity out of that space. So awesome. So Jackson says, thanks, you're very welcome. Marta says, how often? Well, this is the thing, okay? You might do this meditation once and it's enough to reprogram the space that you're in. You might find that once is enough and it's like, oh, it feels better, and it sticks. Now, because negative energy is sticky, you might need to replay it a few times. So I would advise doing it maybe a couple of days in a row, because you want to train it into position as much as you can. A couple of days in a row, maybe even 3 days. And what to do is do the meditation and see how it feels and see how long it lasts. And then you might find that you go for months and it feels fine. You never feel like it needs anything else. And then one day you just feel a bit kind of grumpy, or the room just feels like it needs refreshed. You kind of know. You just know something isn't right. If you're questioning it, then it's probably that you need to do some clearing. So then you can step into that and play that meditation and get the clearing again. And like I say, you can take it anywhere you go. The home space, it doesn't have to be your personal home space. It just needs to be that you're in that space and it's affecting your energy to clear it. And of course, like I said, we're clearing the home, the building, the land underneath the building for any historic stuff that might be affecting you, any families or people that have lived there previously and their energetic patterns, and also the garden as well. Let's see, what else have we got? Bonnie says, do you offer any courses so that we can learn how to clear spaces on our own for ourselves or others? I've been guided to learn how to clear spaces, but not sure where to start. Not at the moment. We don't offer anything in training people to do energy healing. At the moment, we're just providing the tools to make it easy that you can do that for yourself just by playing it. So that will make sure that you can do that. Maybe something that we do in the future, teaching energy healing. I don't know. You never know what's coming. Right, so we're going to finish up, guys. Like I said, take a look at the home space energy cleanse, the space clearing energy cleanse, and see if it feels like a fit for you and if you're needing that shift right now, and use it to cleanse that energy so that you're free to start moving forward and allowing the purge to actually help you raise up. Get raised up and stay there in that energetic resonance. It's a very powerful time. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed it. And whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, do let me know any questions that you have. I would love to answer them for you, and I love connecting with you guys. So take care, get that space cleared, feel better, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.